action is so much better and so much more valuable than ideas.
Especially the younger generation who are trying to create content and they receive the first wave of hateful messages.
That's cyberbullying.
We don't have enemies, really.
Welcome back to Taking the Lead. This is Diana and Naja. So Naja, tell me about this week. What has happened?
Welcome, everyone. This is Naja and this is Diana. This week haven't been much eventful, but there's definitely the highlights are that we're receiving some hateful messages.
Yes, we have gotten some haters. And that by itself has been a little bit of a journey or a little bit of, it caused us to have some self-reflection. We've never really had haters before. And so as we're listening to motivational quotes and things like that, we are hearing over and over again, even the most successful people have haters. So Naja, can you tell us about, I know the first time that I heard that we had haters was when we had just got into church and one of your clients, one of your friends was like, I'm seeing that there's hate, that you have hate online. And I hadn't heard about it before because I don't always have the time to go through and look at social media. But when, after we left, we were like, we have haters. And then I had to leave to go and spend time with my family, with my mom, and I was with my brothers. And then you stayed here at home getting some work done. And then when I came home, you told me about how you ran into the haters as well. So tell me about that. What happened?
Yeah, so I came in, we launched a few ads recently that are, running. So we are constantly running ads. And these ads, they target, the algorithm, bring in people to see those ads. And so I happen to see the responses and how people are commenting. And although there are some very supportive and positive comments, there are some who I found them mean. Now, the thing is, I understand that content creation, and it's part of the game. If you're doing, even the best people in the world, they still receive hateful comments. So I think it's a sign of that we're moving the needle. There's a sign that we're reaching people. People are interacting with our content. And of course, some people they have things in life that are not working for them, or they think that, they can hide behind the screen and write hate towards other people who are trying to do something here.
Yeah. So we follow Alex Hormozi, we follow Gary Vee. And as I've gone through and I look at their comments that they have on their stuff, we also see haters. And I on poor Alex Hormozi's feeds, I see, don't listen to this scammer. This is spam. You're just stealing from people. And at the end of the day, everybody has something that they are able to provide to the world. There are people, as you said, but who hide behind their screens and they feel that it's okay for them to be rude or disrespectful or outright spiteful. And they do it, I think, maybe for self-gratification, maybe to make themselves feel better. I really don't know what it is. I think that they are not realizing that what they say can be hurtful, can be demoralizing. It can sometimes make people feel like they should quit because this is something that people are trying to do. We don't always know when starting a business if it's actually going to work. And sometimes these types of comments can be hurtful enough to make somebody just feel like quitting.
Let me be clear here. The reason why we're talking about this issue is that not because it necessarily affects us. Of course, it does affect us, but it's part of what we expect.
It's part of overcoming. And so the reason why we're telling you this is because Naja is about to tell you the story of what it was that transpired while I was gone after he saw the hate.
Okay, so we run ads on Meta ad platform. And in Meta, there is something called the Business Suite, Meta Business Suite, where it consolidates all your comments, all your DMs in one place. Mm-hmm. So it's easier for you to kind of respond to comments and DMs from one place, whether it's on Instagram or in Facebook. So I logged in there and I saw a bunch of comments and I start going one by one. So the positive ones, I will like them and I respond nicely to them, and we thank them for their engagement
And support.
and support. The negative ones, they were like something like, they're just being mean, right? So they're mocking our videos. They're making fun of us. They're trying to be cute, right? They are saying that, kind of making it seem that the service we're offering is ridiculous, or kind of like what you mentioned about, this is a scam or this is spam or whatever that is. For me, like, I feel like when we start receiving hateful comments, that's an indication. I know that that's an indication that we're doing something valuable. We're reaching people and we're making an impact, making a dent. Now, you would think that, the rational brain is saying, oh, well, this does not affect me. This is all of that. But then there's residual feeling that you start getting. It's a little bit on the unconscious side, because the conscious brain, the logical brain, is saying, oh, this is to be expected. This is to be dealt with. There's no problem there. All of the big names in the space, they receive a lot more, a lot worse. And it's an indication not about what you're doing, it's about what the people behind those comments are feeling at that moment. I mean, they're usually having either a bad day or they're not happy with their lives and they want a scapegoat for their feelings. And they think that they can, just comment badly about people and get away with it, because why not? They hide behind the screens. But then I start looking into these profiles that are commenting. So these people, they're saying, yeah, this is ridiculous. And this, I can do better, and then I go to their profile and I don't see anything worth even talking about. They are not doing anything with their lives. They're just commenting. And then the people who are also laughing and mocking, well, they're also, if you look in their profiles, they have nothing to share with the world. So there's nothing that they're doing that is worthwhile. And so I think the message here for every business owner or every content creator is that hateful comments are to be expected. And in fact, they are to be welcomed. Yes, the logical brain is going to tell you, yeah, everything is okay. But there is some feeling that you might feel after the fact that could affect you. So just be aware that although you feel that you're strong and you feel that you're, this is, not going to affect you, but in fact, it affects you. It's kind of like when a therapist sits with a patient and they, talk through the issues with the patient, and then that therapist is affected, whether they like to admit it or not. They are affected. And that's why a lot of suicidal therapists in a bad shape themselves, because they have been dealing with these issues for a long time with people.
At the end of the day, and thank you for sharing that, honey. We wanted to share this with other people because there are probably business owners out there who are starting something on their own. And that is hard as it is. It's already hard enough. But then there's haters. There's people who aren't doing anything particularly with their lives, who are going to lift up their chest and say, oh, I can do that better. And they're so excited and so happy to criticize everything that it is that you're doing. But people can have a million ideas, right? And people can have a million thoughts and a million suggestions on how to make things better. But guess what? You're the only one who is putting it into action. And so at the end of the day, action is so much better and so much more valuable than ideas. And these haters, let them hate. That's only going to help you with having a thicker skin. That's only going to help you to motivate you and to push you, especially when you are getting that traction and you are getting that positive feedback. Let them do whatever it is that they want to do on the side. At the end of the day, we are consistently putting in action, and we are being very consistent intentionally because we know that we have value to add to others, just as you know that you have so much value to add to others as well. Don't let those small people with not feeling enough come and dictate your actions, because at the end of the day, what you have to give to the world does matter. And I'm so grateful that you came to me and you told me about this. And I know that you and I are very vulnerable with one another, and we share our feelings, whether positive or negative, with one another constantly. And so when I came home, I could tell right away that you felt down. I could tell right away that you weren't having a great day. And you're like, I missed you. But it wasn't just that you missed me, though I love that you did. It was also that you had a negative experience. It kind of shut down your day. You know, you had to put everything aside and you were like, I can't do this right now. And that's okay, you know, but at least you dealt with your feelings, you processed it. And that's so important, to be able to really put in your best.
Yeah, and I could totally imagine people, especially the younger generation who are trying to create content, and they receive the first wave of hateful messages.
That's cyberbullying.
It could be devastating, and this is a moment where they could quit. And I think maybe the purpose of this episode today is to just say that this is a moment to double down. This is a moment to say, okay, yes, you are making a dent. You are affecting people. You're touching people. I want to clarify, though, that we are not against constructive criticism.
Absolutely.
Like if someone commented, say, hey, you could do this better like that. You could improve this by this. If they're like constructive, I mean, the whole point is to fail quickly, right? Like the whole idea is to iterate. And that's why for the last month and a half, every week we have a different set of ads that are going out to the public. And I believe that the last set of ads is much better than the first set of ads. And so we are improving. So if comments are constructive, we welcome them. It's not like we're stubborn, like, yeah, it's our way or the highway. No, I mean, we are actually craving feedback from people, because we want to know if the message is resonating. Back in the day, we used to do focus groups. We used to do surveys. Now it's the social media. It's like the feedback comes from social media. Not everybody comments, but we can also get feedback from the algorithm. How many people click on the ad? So the click-through rate could give you an indication. The watch time, how many people watch the entire ad? That tells you, okay, this ad is engaging or not. So there are some other indications that gives us feedback as we're running ads, but comments also add to that if they are constructive. If they're just hate, I think we need to learn how to brush them off and ignore them. And of course, you cannot deny to feel down a little bit when they happen, but I think, we are mature enough to know that this is just part of the process.
It is part of the process. And this is exciting, like, yes, we have some haters. That's okay. But I'm excited that like we got over that first hump, and now we're going to continue. We're continuing even stronger. We are, as I said earlier, we're strengthening, or, we're having thicker skin. And so now we can laugh about it. Now it's funny. We went over the slight, uncomfortable conversation with, like, do we suck? No, we don't suck, right? Like we're
tell
putting,
us, do we suck?
Do we suck? But tell us in a constructive way.
Constructive way, yeah.
Yes, and I think as long as there's respect, and if somebody's genuinely trying to help us and give us good feedback as to how we can improve, I'm so happy to listen to that and to move forward with that, and even partner with people like that.
And I think one thing we want to focus on is that every episode we have to talk about like a single-minded kind of topic, so that we started doing like the title first before starting recording, just because we want to have like a single-minded idea behind every episode. What do you think of this idea?
I love this idea, actually. So when I listen to podcasts, for me, the shorter the better, right? I just want to get to the point and get out and find something else to do. For us, I would love for us to have the 30-minute, no more than 30-minute allotment, so that way, when people are listening to our podcast, it's about one particular topic and then we move on.
Agree. Did we cover the whole thing about hateful messages and the part on social media that is not fun, where when you start receiving either bullying or hateful messages or hateful comments, their dissatisfaction? Although, in fact, this morning we were discussing how grateful we are that we don't have enemies. Really, like we don't,
Yes.
we don't have anybody in our life that is like hates us or don't like. I mean, maybe they hate us in private, but we don't have enemies really.
No, I think we're so grateful to have a community of people who are loving on us and lifting us up. And, because we are also going to church, you and I have a very open communication and stuff. And I think people see that we're not perfect. We're very transparent that, sometimes life can be a little hard, but at the end of the day, we just want to share with everyone, that we have only the best intentions for everyone. And I think people see that and I think they appreciate it.
And it's intentional. I think every interaction with someone, I think the end goal is whether we become friends with this person or not, whether we work with this person or not. The end goal is that we want to keep good vibes.
Yes.
And
spreading positivity.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, even if we don't become best friends with people, like we want to add value to their lives in some way. If we can connect them with somebody, we have a friend who tends to be a connector. That's a gift that he has, right? And so if we can connect someone with somebody else that mutually benefit one another, or, we meet somebody who we genuinely think is a kind person, so those are the people that we want to get to know them more and also highlight to them, I can see that you're a really kind person, and this brings a little smile to their face because not everybody gets appreciated all the time. And so if we can find a way to highlight a positive thing about them, then why not? That just makes their day, but also makes our day too.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think what we're doing right now is just being on camera and just talking about random things about business and our journey in growing a business. I feel it's an opportunity for people who want to know more about us to just watch these episodes, go to the previous one, go to the next one, and just, hang out with us and get to know us a little bit better. And whenever you feel ready to reach out and, connect and explore, definitely love to talk to people and meet people.
I love that. All right. Well, this was our episode. We just wanted to come up here and share a little bit about what's impacted us in our week. Overall, it's been a great week, I would say. I've had an amazing week, but this is something that we wanted to highlight. So that's it.
All right.
Boom.